Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am reading some of my 5-star horror predictions. A couple weeks ago I did my 24 books for 2024, the 24 books that I really wanted to read in 2024, and these 3 horror books specifically I was so excited to get to because I was like, oh, these for sure feel like a 5-star read for me. So I figured, why not do a little 5-star prediction vlog and find out, are these actually 5 stars, and get some of my anticipated backlisted reads read, okay? Those 3 books are Schrader's Chord, The Horror, and The Rotting Within. Heard nothing but fantastic things about all 3 of these books. In this video, I'm going to be reading all 3 books and talking you through how I feel about each one. So if you want to see my reactions, definitely keep on watching. And if you just want to chit chat about life as per usual, just keep watching. Listen, I have a lot to say at all times. I don't care that you came on here to see my book reviews, okay? This is a vlog. This is my channel. And I'm chit-chatting about life and how I got a concussion on New Year's Day, okay? Deal with it. Just keep watching. Hey kids, it's me, your mother. So I did start Schrader's Chord, so we're gonna talk about that. But you know what? You know the real reason for vlogging? Because I need to talk about my personal life. And I know people get pissed off. People will get pissed off in the comments and be like, I'm not here to hear about your personal life. Shut the fuck up, Jamie, okay? Shut up. Because I got a whole bunch of comments in my last vlog that I posted that you guys really like when I just sit here and talk about absolutely nothing and my personal life. So you know what, it's my channel, fuck off if you don't like it, okay? But no, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. But first of all, I do want to talk about this book, okay? Vlogs are just like an excuse for me to vent and let loose, okay? That's all that this is. But I did get to page 158. And I like it so far. I don't really have a super strong opinion because really not much has happened yet. It's very slow, which I don't mind, but we're like just starting to get into the story 158 pages in. There's like one horror thing that happened so far, but it's been a pretty slow burn. We're just following this guy Charlie, and he finds out that his dad passed away, and you know they've been kind of estranged. You know, they haven't spoken in quite a few years, so he goes back to, you know, his hometown with like his 2 sisters, and they have to do, you know, all the legal aspects involved with death. So they find out that their dad hung himself, and he owned this record store. So you're also following, there's 2 employees at the record store that worked with him, a man and a woman, so we're also following them. But our main character, Charlie, you know, like I said, hasn't spoken to his dad in years. He goes back home, and now he is the legal owner of the record store, and he's not sure if he's gonna keep it, if he's gonna sell it, whatever. And he finds that his dad had a collection of vinyls, and it says Schrader's Chord on the front, and here it was this like urban legend that their dad used to tell them when they were kids about these records, like when you play them it opens up a portal to like the land of the dead or whatever, and that was like the urban legend that he used to tell them. But now he has these records and he thinks maybe they might be real because some weird shit is going on, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, it's very slow so far, so we're following a lot of character development and the exploration of like grief and, you know, this family that hasn't been super close for years and years, and now they have to come together again because of grief. So we're just following, and I love that sort of thing. I love like the character and like the grief exploration. So I like it so far. I don't have any complaints. I haven't gotten super far into it, and it's January 4th at the time I'm filming this because I need to tell you, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. I was like, 2024, I'm determined, is going to be better than last year. Not even joking. January 1st, I'm sitting here working, right? Working from home, and My dog was doing really well with the cat. Is the key word. Through the baby gates, she pretty much ignores her. Like, everything was going fine. Like, the cat got really comfortable with her and was like coming up to her, and the dog didn't do anything. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, we pretty much trained her to leave the cat alone through the gates. So anyways, it was just like a fluke thing that happened where I thought the bedroom door was closed, Justin thought the bedroom door was closed, and like, it obviously wasn't, because the cat ran out and jumped over the baby gate to get over to the dog because she now liked the dog, and the dog went to chase her and chased her all throughout the apartment, trying to bite her. And like, we never knew, like, we knew she chased cats, but we never knew, like, okay, does she chase them just to chase them and then the prey drive stops, or does she chase them to bite and kill them? Obviously it's the latter, and that's not good news, because pretty much we don't think that they can be together, like, ever. Like, they have to live separately forever now, ever since that happened, because I really don't know if that's something that can be trained out of her, because she has such a high prey drive. And they said, oh yeah, she's lived with cats before. Fucking bullshit. Fucking bullshit, okay? So anyways, that happened, and I went to tackle the dog, tripped, fell, landed on my knee, and my head like banged, and my jaw like banged. And then later that night, I was like, oh my God, my cat's fine, by the way. My cat's completely fine, but that's a whole situation. So later that night, I'm like, my head is killing me. My head was throbbing, whatever. The next morning I woke up, felt better, went to physical therapy, I almost fainted. Like, I just got so lightheaded out of nowhere, and I almost fainted like 5 minutes into our session. So I had to sit there with ice packs on, and like, all my vitals and everything were fine. And I was like, I think it's from when I fell yesterday. And then she said, I probably have a mild concussion. Great. So then I come home, and ever since then, I've been getting these really bad physical panic attacks where I'm just like sitting, laying down, I feel completely fine, relaxed, whatever, I'm not anxious, and boom, I'm extremely lightheaded. I can't breathe. I'm panicking, I'm shaky, I'm like sweating. Massive panic attacks, and it's happening multiple times a day, and I swear I like jostled my head around and like got a concussion, and it like fucked with my nervous system. So that's what's been going on. Absolutely horrendous. And I'm still dealing with all this abdominal pain and GI stuff, and my surgeon was like, oh yeah, it's probably adhesions from the surgery and SIBO, so now I have to wait around to get more testing done, whatever. But I just needed to tell that story because only me, right? Only me. That's how my year started. Children, hi. It's like 2 days later and I'm still not finished with this goddamn book. First of all, you know, because I've been having panic attacks and shit, so like I haven't really been reading much. But second of all, I'm struggling through this one. I don't understand the hype. I thought I really enjoyed it in the beginning. The more this goes on, the more I don't like it. I'm about 330 pages, so I have 100 pages still. And the issue is that this book is too fucking long. It's too long. It's too, like, there's so much unnecessary shit happening that it's just dragged out. And, you know, I liked the, like, story, like, setup and the character development in the beginning of the book. But it was the first 150 pages until stuff started happening. But then he started introducing these characters that really have nothing to do with the story, and we're getting like unnecessary backstory on them. Don't know who the hell they are or even like what role they play in this story, really. There's a lot of like unnecessary back and forth. There's a weird, random, like, love interest with Charlie, our main character, and Anna or whatever, who works at the record store. Randomly, like, from like chapter 1, you knew that this was going to happen, but there was like no chemistry between them. It just randomly was like thrown in there, this weird romance thing. And now like halfway through the book, it feels like a Scooby-Doo novel, you know what I mean? Where it's like oh shit, we opened up a portal to the land of the dead. Let's try to figure out how to fix it. And then like the horror parts, like there were some horror parts that were really good, and now they're getting more and more ridiculous. So these like horror parts of the story are becoming like ridiculous, and they're like less and less, and they're more so just like, oh, let's all gather around and try to figure out how to close the portal to the dead. And then the actual horror elements with the ghosts and shit, it's becoming a little goofy. Like the ghosts feel just like silly. Nothing is scary. This is actually starting to drive me insane. Like I'm suffering through this because I'm just not interested in the story anymore. It's really losing my attention. There's just so much like unnecessary characters, unnecessary plot happening, underdeveloped characters, and it's silly, it's goofy. And like the one main, I'm not gonna give anything away, the one main like ghost, I still don't understand, like is he supposed to be like silly and goofy, or is he supposed to be like serious and like a villain? What are his intentions? I don't understand. This is like low-key, I'm like so disappointed because I had such high hopes for this one. All my friends on Instagram are like raving about how this is a 5-star book. I don't see it. I don't see it. This has like a 4.14 average rating on Goodreads, and I don't understand. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling, and I hate it so much because I'm trying so hard to like this book, and I want to like this book, and I did like this book in the beginning, but man, and I'm like, oh, it's just, I'm having a hard time reading it because I'm having panic attacks, but like, honestly, if I was enjoying the story, this would probably help my panic attacks because I'd be focused on something, but no, this is a time where I wish I had an audiobook because I'm suffering. So I'm gonna go try to suffer through my book and then I'll be back to update you. I need to finish it. I need to be done and I need to move on. I would DNF, honestly. Honestly, I'm at the point where like I would DNF if I didn't already read like 300 and some pages and I didn't buy this physically. That's the thing, I don't like to DNF physical books because it's like I bought it, you know, whatever. It's the next morning. I know I'm looking rough. But I finished Schrader's Chord because it's a little snow day moment. We got a snowstorm yesterday and last night, so today everything's kind of like a mess outside. So I took that to my advantage and decided to finish the last 100 pages, and I'm struggling with this one, you guys. I wanted to like this so bad, but it just didn't work for me, sadly. I know a lot of people absolutely love this book, and I do really enjoy like the little moments of like the topics of grief and you know, how we just don't take the time to like forgive people and talk about things while they're alive, and just kind of like things that we regret when people are alive, and you know, just like things that we regret after people die. And I liked those topics that were sprinkled in there, but the writing style just did not work for me. Like I said, there was a lot of fluff, a lot of random characters that really had no point to the story, and then the romance was like really random and weird. I hate romance, little like sprinklings of romance subplots in my books. You guys know this. And there were times where this book, I'm pretty sure, was supposed to be like serious. Like it was supposed to be like an actual like spooky horror book. But there were points where I was like, is this like supposed to be horror comedy? Like the ghosts were just goofy. Like they were goofy and weird, you know? Yeah, I did like some parts at the end, like when they find out more about this like Schrader guy and Schrader's Chord, etc. I mean, like I thought those parts were interesting. you know, it's just, it went back and forth. It would get interesting for me and I would like it. And then it would go a direction where I was just bored out of my mind for 100 pages. And like, it was kind of too all over the place for me. I don't know. Like the tone just felt off. And then the actual like epilogue at the end, I was kind of like, I don't know. I ended up giving this book 2 stars. It's like a 2-star, 2.5, and it kills me because I wanted to like this so bad. And in the beginning, I thought I was really gonna like this. And it just unfortunately falls into that general horror that just mostly doesn't work for me. Like I love horror, but it has to be like really, I don't know. I only like a really specific kind of general horror. I'm just waving this John Lynch bookmark around because I'm obsessed with him. This is his free publicity. No, but like, I don't know. General horror books are a tough one for me, but unfortunately, I'm like really surprised that this was a miss. I'm sad. I was hoping that this would be like a metal moment, you know? I was really hoping that this would be like about like a metal band or something. Yeah, I have to do a couple chores, and then later today I'm going to start The Horror by David Sodergren. Been hearing excellent things about this one. I'll let you know what it's about briefly. I have no idea. I'm kind of going in blind, but this one's much shorter. It's only 200 pages, so I feel like I won't be bored to tears, hopefully. And of course I'm going to use my John Lynch bookmark, who I'm totally not obsessed with, and he totally doesn't need a restraining order against me. So that's what I'm going to read next. And then tomorrow I'm seeing Pete Davidson after work. I have to get my teeth cleaned at the dentist in the morning. Only the best for Pete. Only the best for Pete, who smells like weed and cigarettes. Okay, so here's the tea. It's the next day. I'm going to see Pete Davidson after work. I know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I wish I could vlog. I wish I could take pictures. I can't. My phone's gonna be locked up. That's like the shitty part of comedy shows, is that your phone gets locked up. But I'm so excited. I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm hyperventilating. Anyways, while you're all here, books. I started The Horror last night. I got 56 pages in. So here's the scoop, okay? The first 50 pages, I was not interested. I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? It reads like an old, it takes place in this little Scottish town, and it reads just like an old book. Like, I don't know, like ancient. But it's about this woman, Mural? The names. So she lives in this like Scottish fishing village, and basically, you know, she's lived there her whole life. She grew up there. She had a husband that, you know, they built this life and this home there, and he passed away, and their memories are alive in this house, and these property developers come and basically buy out the town and say they're going to just like demolish it, and they like offer her all this money to just like get her shit and move, basically, so they can demolish the home and create like a new place. They're just like building new. You know what I'm trying to say, all right? And she's like, no, I don't care. I don't want your money. I just want my house, and I want to stay here. And they're like, well, you can't. So one day she goes out, and there's this like mysterious fog over the town. And in this fog, she like goes outside and she finds this sea creature. It's like a brand new sea creature that no one's ever seen before. So it's a little creature feature. And she notices that this creature can heal. She can hear like her dead husband talking to her. Like, it can do all these things, right? So she scoops it up and takes it to her home. That's all that I know. And I won't really say much else, but I'm really starting to become a little invested in this now. I want to see where this goes. At first I was like, oh my God, what is this? What have I gotten myself into? Because I went in blind, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be reading this like ancient Scottish text. Not like ancient, but it reads like an old book, you know? So I'm like, okay, I don't know. How am I going to feel about this? But now I'm intrigued. Now I'm liking it. Obviously, I will update you. I will update you on how Pete Davidson was. I know some people, like, you guys make fun of me. You guys drag me in my comments because I'm in love with him. I don't care. I'm in love with him. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care. Hi, so it's now the next day. My little update here. I'm on page 120. So I have 90 pages left of this book. Okay, but first, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I know, because I haven't been talking about it enough on social media. I saw Pete Davidson live last night. I did. He didn't cancel. He did make a joke. He was like, oh, you know, I was gonna cancel this show also, but it's only 2 hours away from where I live, so I figured I could do this one. So I saw Pete Davidson live. I did. I've never been more excited for something in my entire life. I've been waiting for this moment for about 10 years now. So I'm like so happy and excited that I got to see him, but now I'm like, oh my god, I have nothing left to live for anymore. Like, I have nothing exciting happening. So that's great. But yeah, he was really great because, you know, there were like 3 comedians that opened for him, and then he went on, and his Netflix special just came out today, which I already watched multiple times, and it's hilarious. The stalker bit, I swear it's not about me, but that was like dead. I was dead. But you know, that was like his tour, but he was like, well, since my special's coming out tomorrow, like, I pretty much did I'm doing all new material for you guys. It was like 80% new stuff, and a lot of it was improv. So he was just up there like telling random stories and jokes, and he was really funny. He was really good. Justin doesn't understand why I'm in love with him. I mean, like, he loves him as a comedian, but he's like, why are you like actually in love with him? Like, he looks like someone that like drinks milk while wearing a bathrobe, you know? But like, he's my type. I love him so much. I just love that him and I are like pretty much the same person. You know, we have very similar vibes, like very similar mental illness, physical illness. Like, I mean, I relate to the guy, okay? So that's why I became obsessed with him on SNL when I was 20, because I was like, oh my god, like, this guy reminds me of myself. Like, we have the same up here, you know, mental problems. So yeah, I love him. I had such a blast. I had a panic attack a little bit. I've been having panic attacks every day, like I said, but you know, I managed to get through this show. I'm really, I don't know, I need to do something about my mental health. But anyways, back to the books. Highly recommend his new special on Netflix, by the way. Like I said, hilarious. The stalker bit wasn't about me. So the horror, this book is surprising me. It's going all different directions. I think the last time we spoke, I was like, oh, it's a creature feature, and it is. It's a creature feature. But it's not like in the sense that you're expecting it to be. It's very similar to Crossroads by Laurel Hightower, if you've read that book. It's grief horror. And grief horror I love. Grief horror gets me. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm curious to see where it goes, because right where I'm like, oh, it's this, it's a creature feature, it's this, it's that, it's like, it just keeps switching directions on me, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's bizarre, but in a good way, and the focus on grief, it's sad, it's disturbing, there's some gore, there's some violence, it's very well written. I am very intrigued. I don't know what I was expecting going into this one. You know, it seems like everyone loves this, and I was expecting to love it, but then I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this, and then now I'm just like hooked. Like, I need to know what is going on. So, I mean, this one's still promising. It's probably going to be at least 4 stars from what I'm predicting, unless the end like sucks for some reason, but I'm really sucked in. I really need to know what's going on. Hi, hopefully this looks okay because I'm filming on my phone in the dark. Because I have a fucking concussion. Like I was saying, I've been concussed this entire video. But it got worse because you can't make this shit up. Literally the other day I was driving to my appointment. I was starting to feel better. Ooh, my arm is getting tired. I was starting to feel better. And I drove to my physical therapy appointment, hit a pothole. My head went slamming forward again. And I got really, like my head started hurting really bad. And I've been really dizzy and lightheaded. I've been getting panic attacks pretty much nonstop. And then I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? Is my anxiety getting worse? I like my head has been throbbing like in the front and the back, and my neck is all sore, whatever. So I went to the, called off work today, went to my family doctor, and she was like, well, yeah, it sounds like you have a concussion. And it probably was starting to get better and then got worse when I hit my head in the car again. If I'm not looking at you, it's because I'm trying not to look at you. So you can't make this shit up. Going to see Pete Davidson with a concussion was probably not the best idea, but you know what? He's worth it. He was like screaming into the microphone. So yeah, that's my life. You can't make this shit up. You really can't. I'm not really able to like do anything. She said, you know, I can do things in moderation, just don't like sit on my phone and the computer all day, but I work on the computer all day. Anyway, she said I can read a tiny bit, you know, as long as my head's not bothering me. So I started reading The Rotting Within. Oh, did I ever update you on, I don't think I updated you on The Horror. I really liked it. Did I ever? I don't think I ever gave you a final update. So I really liked it. I finished it last night, and I just really liked the ending and where it ended up going. It was like whiplash. Like I had no idea where that book was going to go. I had no idea what it was going to be about. And I really liked the exploration of grief, and it just had a really beautiful message, but at the same time, it was very disturbing and like disgusting. It was pretty violent here and there, and I really liked the creature and what it symbolized and what it had her do, and like the overall theme of grief. And I just think it was really well done. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It didn't quite give me like the obsessed 5-star feeling that I was hoping it would, but I'm really interested in reading more from David Sodergren. His writing was really fantastic, and like I said, I loved the overall message and the way that it ended. What is that supposed to be? I'm Italian. I'm like part Italian, but like I can be more if you want me to be. Then I started The Rotting Within. I got 50 pages in, and like it's okay so far, but it's just like your standard haunted house type book. So we're following this woman, what the heck's her name, Kenzie, and she has like this abusive piece of shit boyfriend, I believe, boyfriend. And so she has these 2 kids, so she just spontaneously takes them one day, and she's like, no, we're gonna go stay with her her grandmother, Shirley. It's the kid's great grandmother. But anyways, her estranged, words don't sound right to me. I'm not doing well. Her estranged grandmother, Shirley, owns this like bed and breakfast, hotel place, whatever. So they run away to go stay with her, and something's not quite right about this place. We're learning about this place and weird things are happening. She tells them stay away from the 3rd floor. There's like this pair of old women that live up there. And she's like, oh, I haven't been up there in 30 years because, you know, they like their privacy. And Kenzie's like, you own this place, but you haven't been on the 3rd floor in 30 years. So yeah, she's like, oh, well, the one woman's dying. She's gonna die like any day now. And so there's this nurse that comes and takes care of her. So that's all that's going on. Weird stuff's going on. You're getting some POVs from the kids, so on and so forth. There's just weird shit going on. It's just like a classic haunted house. I wasn't sure if this was extreme horror or not. So far, it's not at all. So
curious to see if anything happens. Usually Grindhouse Press has like a lot of extreme horror, and Christopher Triana does a blurb on the front. I don't know. I'm hoping that this picks up, because so far I'm kind of like, so far. So we'll see how I feel. But yeah, I'm going to rest my brain. And then once I get a little bit farther, I'll obviously update you. But I'm sorry, this is another flop. Every vlog that I film is a flop. But you know what? So is my entire life. So I'm just keeping it real.
Hi, children. So I am a little bit farther, well, a lot farther into The Rotting Within. I like forgot the name of the book. I think I have 50 pages left. I don't know. It really lost me. It lost my interest. You know, you're following her, our woman, our main character, Kenzie, and she's, you know, trying to figure out what the hell's going on at this inn. And, you know, I love, like, there's these two old women upstairs. There's, like, an old woman that's dying, and then there's, like, her nurse. And the kids are like, oh my god, there's, like, this old lady in our room at night, and she's naked. And, like, they're seeing, like, shadows and hearing things, but, like, that's it. And I'm like, what? I thought it might be extreme horror. It's not. And then I'm like, okay, but it's still not even giving me anything scary. It's like people hearing things and seeing things, and like, that's it. And then, you know, there's this other like guy that's staying at the inn that's like a little bit sketchy, so we don't know what's going on there. And like, that's it. This book is weird to me because it seems like a lot of people love it, but then I went on Goodreads and it like has a lot of really mixed reviews. And like, I don't know. It feels like, to me personally, a lot of filler. Like, it's just like random nonsense, like filler, like things that we don't need to know. I'm like to the point where I'm skimming because I'm like, do I need to know this information? Because I don't know. It's not really giving me anything scary. It's not like, I just don't understand the point. And I only have like 50 pages left. And then I'm like, is it just because I have a concussion? So obviously I will be back to tell you my final thoughts, but this vlog has been a fucking flop. This has been a flop so far. I mean, I definitely recommend the horror. Definitely go read this one. I can't wait to read more from David Sodergren, but please pray for me with the rest of this nonsense. I'm dizzy and my camera's about to die, so let's make this quick. I finished The Rotting Within. This was another flop for me. I gave this book 2 stars. I wasn't feeling it the entire way. It just didn't work for me, sadly. Like I said, there was a lot of like filler, like a lot of little storylines that didn't have anything to do with the story. Like overall, a lot of it could have been taken out and we would have been fine. Like, I don't know, there was just like too much going on, but not enough going on. It was weird. It was like all these things were going on, but nothing happened until like the last 50 pages of the book. And I did like the overall like end of the book, I thought was good, but the journey that we had to take to get there, I just was not interested, sadly. I just felt like it wasn't super creepy, it wasn't scary, it wasn't gory or anything like that, which is fine, but I just wasn't overall like invested in the characters or the story of this one. I was really interested in like the old ladies and what was going on, but then it just ended up taking this turn that I just wasn't interested in. And also the back of the book pretty much tells you 98% of what happens in the book. So I read this and I'm like reading and I'm like, okay, there's only 50 pages left of the book and like we're still basically on what was happening on the back of the book in the synopsis. I freaking hate that. So I don't know. This one was just boring to me. I wasn't interested. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people do like this one, but then I was going through Goodreads and it seems like a lot of people have some mixed opinions on this one. So I mean, check it out if you want to, but just know like I would classify this as like beginner's horror. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know. This just wasn't one that thrilled me the way that I was hoping it would. So yeah, that's the end of this vlog. I'm sorry, not an eventful one after I hit my freaking head twice. I'm still fucked up. And yeah, I'm just not doing my best. So what did we learn in this vlog? I'm horrible at predicting my 5-star reads. I apparently don't know myself and I'm struggling with my self-identity. My body is very fragile and I suck. But all of that's okay because Pete Davidson and I are getting married.